Attention passionate Washington Commanders fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Washington Commanders' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Washington Commanders fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Washington, Commanders FANS. Let's get to the news now. Let's dive into what could be one of the most surprising and potentially game-changing moves of this NFL season. Rumors are swirling that the Tennessee Titans are eyeing a trade that could shake up the league's receiver landscape, and it involves none other than Calvin Ridley. Yes, Ridley, the talented wide receiver who's been making waves in Washington after a comeback season, could find himself heading to Nashville in exchange for a second-round pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. This isn't just a simple swap. It's a move packed with implications, especially considering the Titans' situation right now. They sit at a record of 1-6, and with a looming deadline of November 4th, things are heating up fast. The Titans are clearly in rebuild mode, focusing on young talent and trying to set the stage for a fresh start in the coming seasons. What's driving this? Well, it's about cap space and roster flexibility. The Titans currently have around $7 million in cap space, but they're also prioritizing youth on their offensive line, trying to build a more sustainable future. Meanwhile, Ridley's contract, which is around $14 million in 2026, creates some conflict with their plans for extensions and long-term cap management. So it's a classic case of a team looking for a quick rebuild, trying to free up cap space now while also acquiring some draft capital for the future. But skeptics are questioning this move, pointing out that the Titans' passing game has already declined by about 18% EPA this season, which is a big deal. Losing Ridley might make that worse, especially since they already rely heavily on DeAndre Hopkins, who's often double-covered, making the passing game even more predictable. Now let's talk about Ridley himself because he's a fascinating player, and his fit in Washington has been nothing short of impressive. Drafted in 2018, Ridley had a strong start to his career, and even though he faced some setbacks with injuries, he's proven to be an elite separator on the field. At 30 years old, he's still in his prime, and his stats speak volumes. Over his career, he's accumulated around 380 receptions, more than 100 yards, and 36 touchdowns. His average yards per catch is an impressive 13. And he's known for his precise route running and ability to create separation, especially in intermediate routes. Think of him as a modern-day Stefon Diggs in that department. In 2025, he's caught 38 passes for 462 yards, averaging 2 yards per reception with 3 touchdowns. He also averages about 2 yards per route run, with a YAC of 4 yards per reception and a 75% contested catch rate. That's elite level, especially in tight coverage situations. In Washington, Ridley has been a breath of fresh air. He's been thriving alongside Terry McLaurin, creating a dangerous duo that defenses have to respect. His precise routes and ability to stretch the field open up a lot of opportunities for quarterback Sam Howell, who's been developing nicely this season. Ridley's presence has already elevated the Commanders' aerial attack, which was somewhat inconsistent earlier in the year. His return from injury, notably a knee issue in Week 5, has been smooth, and he's shown he can be a reliable target with a lot of upside, especially when it comes to big plays. His efficiency in contested catches, 75%, is a testament to his hands and concentration, making him a nightmare for defenses trying to contain him. Looking at the numbers, Ridley's impact is clear. His route running and ability to create separation are comparable to some of the best in the league, like Diggs. His ADOT, average depth of target, sits at around 8 yards, indicating he's comfortable working in the intermediate and deep zones. His EPA per target at plus 0.20 shows he's highly productive when targeted. His 2025 stats might not seem astronomical, but he's already proven that he can produce at a high level, and with a full season of health, his numbers could easily spike. His one injury, a knee injury in Week 5, was a minor setback, and he's expected to be ready for the rest of the season without issues. That kind of resilience only adds to his value. Now, why would the Titans want to trade Ridley? As I mentioned, cap space is a big factor. They need to free up room for their young offensive line and future contracts, and Ridley's $14 million salary in 2026 doesn't fit into their long-term plans. Plus, they're in a rebuild, and acquiring draft picks makes sense when you're looking to develop young talent and reset the roster. But the real question is whether Ridley's talents will thrive in Nashville or whether the move might be a step back for him. Tennessee's passing game has been struggling, and some analysts believe that losing Ridley could further isolate Hopkins, making their offense even more predictable and less explosive. On the other hand, for the Washington Commanders, this potential trade could be a massive boost. Currently sitting at 3-4, the Commanders have struggled at times with consistency, especially in the passing game. After losing Jahan Dotson to injury, the depth at wide receiver was thin, and Ridley's arrival has already injected some much-needed explosiveness. With his ability to stretch the field and make big plays, Ridley could be the key piece to unlocking Washington's full offensive potential. His chemistry with Howell is already evident, and if he continues to build rapport, the Commanders' aerial attack could become one of the most dangerous units in the league. Looking at the bigger picture, Ridley's addition could also have significant implications for the team's playoff chances. The NFC East is a tough division, with teams like the Eagles and Cowboys fighting for supremacy. The Eagles, in particular, have been dominant, but the Commanders have shown resilience and growth. Adding a player like Ridley boosts their chances of making a deep playoff run, especially considering the importance of a reliable, big-play receiver in high-stakes moments. His ability to move the chains on third down, projecting about a 16% improvement in third-down conversions, going from 37% to potentially 53%, is a game-changer. Plus, his skill set reduces drops, which have been a concern at times, with about 12 drops so far this season. Now, let's not forget the potential impact on their Super Bowl odds. Right now, the Commanders are listed at +12, 0 odds, but if they pull off this trade and integrate Ridley effectively, those odds could shorten significantly, perhaps down to +6, 500 or better. His ability to be a chain mover and a playoff performer is well documented. Historically, Ridley has shown he can come through in big moments, and his presence could serve as a catalyst for the team's overall offensive efficiency. His experience and skill in critical situations could help the Commanders challenge the NFC's giants, including the Eagles, especially since they tend to give up about 7.4 yards per reception when defending opponents' passing game. So, what does all of this mean? In essence, this potential trade signals a new chapter for the Commanders. It's like a renaissance at the wide receiver position, with Ridley emerging as the maestro of their aerial attack. His arrival could be reminiscent of legendary duos from the past, like Monk and Sanders, who elevated their teams to Super Bowl glory. With Ridley in the fold, the Commanders' offense could become more unpredictable, more explosive, and more difficult for defenses to contain. It's an exciting prospect, and one that could very well define the remainder of the season. Looking ahead, if this trade happens, it would also set a precedent for how aggressive the Commanders are willing to be in the upcoming years. They've already made significant moves to improve their roster, and bringing in Ridley would send a clear message that they're serious about competing at the highest level. The team's front office has been strategic, and this move, if it materializes, would be the culmination of that approach, securing a star receiver who is still in his prime and ready to make an impact right away. And so, as we watch this story unfold, it's important to remember that the NFL is a league of adjustments and surprises. Sometimes, a single trade can shift the entire balance of power. The Commanders with Ridley could be on the verge of a new era, one where their offense becomes one of the most feared in the league. For fans, this is an exhilarating time, full of hope and anticipation. The road to the Super Bowl is never easy, but with players like Ridley, the journey becomes a little more exciting, a little more promising. And now, Washington Commanders fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the team. Do you think Ridley's addition will be the spark that takes the Commanders to the next level? Or are you skeptical about how well he'll fit into their system? Either way, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Washington Commanders news. This is a team that's always evolving, always surprising, and always worth watching. Thanks for joining me today. And as always, let's keep cheering for our team no matter what.